The mid-size pickup-based SUV segment is one of the most competitive and the most popular segments here in the Philippines. And each Japanese brand has their own contenders. And this one is one that tends to be overlooked. This is the Isuzu Mu-X. Let's do a review. So this Isuzu Mu-X was actually launched locally just a few months ago in April. So we first showed it to you back in March at the Bangkok International Motor Show, and now we have it in the flesh. So what we have is a top-of-the-line 3-liter LSE 4x4 variant, and it's priced at 2,670,000 pesos, which is actually the priciest in the segment. But let's see if that's all worth it. So starting with the exterior. So this is the new front face of the Mu-X, which does look so good. So it is actually I think the best looking in the segment, one of them. So we have these very sharp headlights over there. It's an all LED affair now. So DRLs on top, and we have our turn signals there as well. So they're no longer separate. And we also have our LED fog lights down here. So moving here, we have the large front grille, which is very in your face. It has those fangs, still very signature Isuzu design right there. The Isuzu name spelled out on top, and this very nice bumper, which has got give a little bit of a rugged vibe to it. And if you look on the sides, we actually have these functional air vents. So there's actually a stick right here. So we can actually put that through. And you can see it comes out here on the other side. So that's functional. Very nice to have. And then if you follow me back to the other side, we have our 20-inch alloy wheel. So it's a two-tone color, and it does look very nice. It looks similar to what we first saw back in 2022, but those are nice wrapped in Bridgestone tires, just highway tires, no all-terrains for the Mu-X. On the side, it's pretty much the same as before. So still the large side mirror. We do have a 360 cam right now, which you will see later. And for the rest of it, pretty much the same as before. So running boards, the very sleek crossover-like look here. So the windows do look like what you'd find in a smaller crossover. Some roof rails up there. And here towards the back, we have a little spoiler and the redesigned taillights. So it still looks a lot like a crossover, very aggressive as well. There's also a full LED affair right now, and it's almost like they're connected, but this is no light bar, just a black trim over there. The Isuzu name again there, over there. And actually, we've seen someone in another Isuzu put letter B and O on the end. So subject to interpretation. All-wheel drive badge and our Mu-X badge. And we do have 6 sensors. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're next to each other. And 6 right there. The bumper has this like faux diffuser look for a sportier vibe. And the tailgate also. It's still plastic. That's really nice actually. So opening the tailgate's power tailgate, of course. And well, once that opens up, we do have a very good amount of space. You can see here, we can probably fit around 2 pieces of small luggage, although they will be lying down. And once you do fold the third row of seats, it is, well, a lot. So as you can see, we have loads of room back here, some storage underneath the floor. So that is very helpful. And it's nice to see it's very clean here as well. So yeah, we can check out the interior. And now we're inside the Isuzu Mu-X LSE 4x4. And as you can see, compared to the exterior, nothing much has changed here on the interior, but they are, well, noticeable if you know what they are. So the basic design is the same, the material is still the same as well. Really nice soft touch leather here on top, and hard touch plastics here on the door panel. This side, passenger side, was changed. No longer has the storage area that people love. Unfortunately, I don't know why Isuzu decided to remove that, but they did replace it with this kind of soft touch, like leather like vinyl material with some white stitching over there. It does look nice and feel nice as well. And we also have our mood lighting over there, which is also new for this update. Steering wheel still the same, so it's a 3-spoke design with our controls on the left for our audio system, on the right for our ADAS and our trip computer. And speaking of trip computer, it now shows on this new 7-inch digital instrument cluster. So we now have a fully digital display right there. And it does show pretty much the same information, and it's what you would find in the D-Max and the Mazda BT50. So this is actually really nice, although I think that it does have a little bit of an aftermarket look. The resolution could definitely use some work. And then our steering wheel, going back to that, it's also tilt and telescopic adjustable. Really good amount of adjustment over there, so it is a bit easy to find the proper driving position. Then moving here to the center, we have our, well, same but different infotainment system. So it's still 10 inches in size, or 10.1 inches if I'm not mistaken. And it's still that aftermarket looking system, unfortunately. So, well, they did improve it a bit. So basically the same, but has this new menu, home menu, which does show you radio, your, well, Bluetooth device, and your clinometer right there. And then in the main menu, you have, well, the typical stuff. And we also have wireless Apple CarPlay now and Android Auto. Also added, well, it was already in the previous update, so if you put it in reverse, we do now have our 360 camera. The resolution's also not the best, but yeah, it works over there. We also have a shortcut button down here for that, and there are a few functions such as the 3D view, our blind spot view, so we do have that here. Also, if you go back to the home screen, we also have our digital video recorder right here, which uses those cameras that I just showed you. So we can actually view them here as well. And then moving down, still the same climate controls, dual zone automatic, looks really nice. Piano style buttons right there. And also below, we have a wireless phone charger now. Honestly, there are some stuff here that look a bit aftermarket, and well, they are, but at least Isuzu did the effort to put them right here. Then here in the center console, pretty much the same stuff. Our 4x4 selector right there, 2 high, 4 high, and then 4 low. Also, our electronic parking brake with auto hold, our shifter, we saw that, same as what you get in the D-Max and BT50, and loads of blank buttons, a lot of them. I don't know why we have lots of blanks. I know we looked at the Thai version in person, but it also had these blank switches right here. That's unfortunate considering this is the top spec variant already. And now for the seats. So as you can see, they are, well, they look comfy, and they are, because they are quite soft. We have some manual lumbar support here for the driver. Driver seat is power operated. The passenger seat is manual, unfortunately. For the price, I think the passenger deserves some pampering with some power seat adjustment. But anyway, very comfortable. The bolsters are really nice, and you also have these supports right here for your shoulders. And also, once you are seated here in the driver's seat, visibility is also really good. So wherever you look all around, you have huge side mirrors, huge windows all around the back. Very easy to see out of this vehicle for sure, which you'll see more often when we are on the road. Now we're at the back seats of the MUX 4x4 LSE. And well, this is pretty much what you would expect from all UX variants. We have, it's basically the same, the features and stuff, except for the seat materials. So obviously the leather here, by the way, which I forgot to mention, is really nice. And the seats themselves, they look a bit flat, but they are really comfortable. They're very soft. They're really, this is a really good place to be in. I've had experience here on longer road trips, and it's just a really good place to be in. Materials the same, hard touch plastics in the door panel, some leather there, and the stuff you would find here. So we have this hook here for your stuff, so 4 kilogram capacity for this. Really nice to have. Seat back pockets, we have some storage here for our phone or maybe a wallet. 2 USB-C ports right there, those were upgraded from USB-A. And here our center armrest with 2 cup holders, which are right there. They pop out of the armrest. Really nice to have. Air vents on top with our control here in the middle, so really strong. Unfortunately, no temperature adjustment, but that works. We have some normal halogen or incandescent lights right there. I wish it was LED already, but yeah, that's what we have here. Let's check out the third row real quick. So to get into the third row, all you have to do is, well, this is kind of old school, so fold the seat and flip it up. So that's the older style for these SUVs. Most now have those. Oh, oops, I slid back right there, but yeah, so let's just put this back down to get a feel of the space. So by the way, the second row, you actually cannot slide it forward, so this is fixed. But considering that we do have a fixed amount of space back here, this is excellent. And I think I can make do with this. So I'm 5 feet and 7 inches in height, and I do have very good amount of foot room down there, and my leg room, knee room, you can see it's actually pretty good. I'm not the tallest, but most people will be around my height, and this is a decent place to be. The seats are actually kind of sticky, but the position as well, it's actually pretty good. So if you have kids and you're gonna banish them to the third row, you won't exactly be banishing them back here. It's really nice to be your air vents, cup holder storage on both sides. So yeah, a pretty good place to be, and surprisingly, just getting in and out could be improved. And now I guess we can take this out on a drive. And now we're driving the Isuzu MU-X LSE 4x4, and we are very familiar with this already because we've experienced it a lot. So when I say a lot, we were there when they first previewed it. We were there when they had their first media drive. We were there when they gave the first test units, and we were also there when they had their next media drive. And finally, it's here with us. And there really isn't much different compared to the previous MU-X versions, because nothing has really changed when it comes to the mechanical or technical stuff in here, except for the exterior and interior, which you already saw. So under the hood is still the same engine. It's still a 3-liter 4-cylinder turbo diesel engine that makes 190 horsepower and 450 newton meters of torque, mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission. So that's exactly the same. We do not get the new 2.2-liter engine that you can find in the Thai and other overseas markets. So with this having the largest displacement in the segment and, well, less horsepower, like you heard earlier, it's a less stressed engine because we have less horsepower per liter, which other models like the Everest would push out like 200 horsepower from a 2-liter engine, while the Toyota Fortuner has around the same with a 2.8. So that one will give us a little bit more reliability in the long term. And as for power and torque delivery, it's all good here. It's not amazing. It still feels a bit slower compared to its rivals, given that we also have a 6-speed automatic transmission, but that does shift really smoothly, which is very much appreciated, especially if you compare to the likes of the 8-speed or 10-speed automatics with its rivals. As for ride comfort, I think that this is one of the best in the segment. It doesn't feel as comfortable as Ford Everest, but if you think about it, overall, it's a perfect balance of everything. Even the road noise insulation, wind insulation, everything does sound pretty quiet in here, which is a great thing. And also, you have to note that this is the only model in segment that's really or truly a next generation model, because the Ford Everest is still based on the previous platform, just improved. The Mitsubishi Montero Sport, the Toyota Fortuner, Nissan Terra, they're all models from the early 2010s, and this one was only revealed in like 2021, which makes it a real next generation model. It has nothing related to the previous generation MU-X, which was based on the Chevrolet Trailblazer. And well, I did miss out on the handling part because, well, it's just really comfortable that there really isn't much to say about it. But some things that you have to note is that, like, this one still comes with hydraulic power assisted steering. So other markets already get electric power assisted steering. This one still gets the hydraulic, which makes it a bit more old school, gives us that feel of the heavier weight in the steering, but it does feel really substantial, which is good. And on long drives, like we've taken this from Puerto Princesa, Palawan to El Nido, that's about 7 hours of driving, 8 hours of driving straight. And with this kind of steering, it just felt so good to take on corners, just to be driving in a straight line on long stretches of empty highway. It just feels so good in that sense. And it also remains very stable because once you are on the corners, it doesn't have much bother. It's able to stay pretty planted on the road. And then as for fuel economy, you'd think that because it has a bigger engine plus the 4x4 system is that it won't do so well, but we do have pretty good numbers. So in mixed driving, city and highway, heavy city traffic actually, and pretty light highway conditions, we're getting around 12 kilometers per liter combined, which is a good number. It's pretty much on par with its other rivals, even those with smaller engines, more powerful engines. And also the advanced driver assist systems, Isuzu was a bit of a pioneer in the segment. Well, they were one of the first to equip their models with this, although it's only available on the LSE variant. So adaptive cruise control is really smooth. The forward collision warning and automatic emergency braking are a bit too sensitive, but you can adjust them here on the new instrument cluster. And also the lane departure warning does sound a bit annoying, so let's do that now. Yeah, it's a bit annoying, especially if you are in a rather narrow lane and then or another driver pushes you, so you'll keep hearing that. It is really intrusive. And now the question, is it worth its asking price? So you already know that this is one of the most expensive in the segment, if not the most expensive. And I have to say that for some it may not, but if you look at it on a deeper level, again, the fact that this is the only next generation model and how it answers or ticks all the right boxes in all the right places for all SUVs. Plus, we have to mention that Isuzu's standard of reliability that everybody loves. That's what Filipinos love, that diesel engine plus Isuzu. They're experts in this. So if you put all of that together, then you must say that it is worth the asking price. And well, most people won't be going for this top of the line variant anyway. They're the lower variants. Unfortunately, we can't review them just yet, but we've tried the previous one and it is also just as good as this one. And well, yeah, the Isuzu Mu X is a very good choice.